I think that sustainability should be a core value of any business, regardless of the business environment or the nature of that business. So I think that's maybe a good starting point for us in this conversation today. That, and it kind of speaks of what are your core values? Because when I think of sustainability, I think about, the time that I'm in now and moving forward. What is it going to look like moving forward? And part of that is the market, the environment, what type of, so for me, like cleaning industry, going from just regular cleaning solutions to now more eco-friendly cleaning solutions. So that's part of sustainability as well.
Yeah. So I think, when we talk about sustainability, I mean, first, what are we talking about? I mean, the way I look at sustainability is what is what is it about your business that is going to allow it to sustain and be viable and no matter what is going on here in society? Like like what no matter what happens, no matter what changes may come about in this world, that your business can still thrive in those situations, not be unfazed within those times, and be able to still, stand the test of time.
And that's a great example because it also makes me think of, at one point where you have Black Friday, the stores, brick and mortar,
Yep.
would dominate as far as sales go. And then I remember how people started shopping online where it was like Cyber Monday. And then as of like 2, 3 years ago, there were more sales and revenue generated on Cyber Monday than there is on Black Friday of people going into brick and mortar stores. So
Yeah.
if you're a brick and mortar store and you heavily dependent on Black Friday and things have shifted and change where the consumer is now making purchases online, then you have to shift with that model. And
Yeah.
you have to then have to offer your customers an option to buy things online and not the only option to just go inside of your store and make a purchase. So
Yeah.
those I think are great examples as far as sustainability and being aware of the trends that are happening in business as a whole, but specifically within the industry that you're in.
And that's just basically just staying, constantly looking at your business, analyzing your business, but then more importantly, analyzing the market and understanding society, where it's heading, what the public wants, and then kind of shaping your business to match the needs of the public.
When you say that, the listener, I myself, those who are watching us on YouTube or who's a small business owner, this is the type of culture, the example that you're giving is what you want to foster within your business, which is flexibility and agility within your organization. Because as the market change, and it's basically economics 101 is supply and demand.
Yep.
So if the demand changes a little bit, meaning like people demand better grains of coffee. I remember to your point, Sos,
Right.
when there was the still kind of dealing with donuts or whether we're going to go all the way with coffee. Dunkin' Donuts didn't really have good coffee. I would still go there for their donuts, but go somewhere else for the coffee.
Yeah.
And then I remember their coffee just got better. You know what I mean? Where it's like, okay, they really are having better coffee these days. And, that was them responding better to the market changes and listening to their customers and taking surveys and understanding, this is what the demand is. And those are things that I myself, look to identify within my
Yeah.
business and my business model. And all of that so just lets me know that this is all like living documents. These are all things that you're constantly I don't want to say getting off course, but you're kind of tweaking along the
Yeah.
way. So
Yeah.
that's what makes it more like a living document. So whether
Yeah.
that's you remaining flexible and having agility within your organization, but at that point, you're going to want to conduct market research. regularly
That's right.
and stay informed with changes and trends within your industry. And, having the ability to embrace technology, new innovations, and anything that can improve your operation and your customers' experiences.
You know, think about different subjects that's gonna open all of our minds. So therefore we kind of look at our business and look at business in general in a much more broader vision, a much more broader view. And that's hopefully what we're trying to do here today.
Absolutely. So, for those who are watching us now on YouTube and you agree with that, go ahead, hit that subscribe button, hit that like button,
Hit
and
it.
drop your comment and let us know, are you one that wants to adapt through changes, or you're saying, what, I'm just going to go steady course and, it is what it is and it's going to be what it's going to be. But SOSI and our mission is to also share with y'all these shared values and let you know that, there are alternatives to making mistakes, and that even if you do make the mistake, just learn from it,
Yeah.
and correct the course. So I think everything that you're saying certainly helps you identify what are your strengths and weaknesses within yourself and within your business. Am I too rigid? Am I not willing to as the market changes, adapt my business structure to how the demand and how the market has changed. So I think that was very important what you said, and it allows us to create this digital square.
Yeah.
Where at one point in time there was somewhere for you to go, sit down, and kick it about business. Well, Sosai and I are bringing the digital square right here on YouTube and opening up the conversation.
That's
And
right.
I think these subject matters and these topics are very important to business in general, but specifically to our community.
I think you have to do some broad market type research, because you have to understand your audience. So there's a lot of things in play, that you need to start understanding. So, and I think understanding your audience or understanding your customer is, but definitely probably one of the greatest places that you could start. To give an example. Yeah.
So, how can I just Winston McIntosh, JMD Janitorial, how can I, who watch sports, in my downtime and my leisure time, instead of just being caught up in the aesthetics of sports, but just use that as an example to then translate that to my business and say,
Yeah.
ha, that light switch hit me. You know what I mean? And
Yeah.
being able to adapt and overcome. So, another thing that I think of, so in addition to the excellent points that we've already made, and it kind of land me back on what you said earlier, but it also moves the conversation forward. And it's about educating yourself,
Yeah.
educating your staff.
Yeah.
That can also help you sustain your business. So for me in the cleaning industry, commercial cleaning industry, if there's a new piece of equipment, there's a new tool, cleaning solution that's out that can allow us to be more efficient and effective, then you may have to take some time out, or not even may have, but you will have to take some time out to, educate your employees on the new equipment that's
Yeah.
out.
Yeah.
The new tools that you can use that can help make their job more efficient and effective at the same time. So I think continuously training, educating employees within your industry so you guys can continuously be current on developments and new skills that you will develop within your industry also helps you become a more sustainable business in the short term and in the long term.
Simply put, if your business can help, can benefit society, can benefit the economy, and can benefit the environment, both in the long term and the short term, well, then guess what? There's a very good chance that your business is going to be able to sustain for however long you want it to be. If you want to be 5 years, there's a good chance you're going to do well within those 5 years. And if you're trying to do the long term, if you're in those three, if you're touching those three factors, that's an excellent chance that you're going to be around, because because those are all factors that are basically um, components that are essential to the growth of our business. And if we're affecting those areas, then think about it. Those are the major areas. There's a good chance that we're going to be around if we can impact. If we could provide a benefit to society. I mean, all our business. If you have a business, pretty much is going to have a benefit to society if it's a business, right? Or at least we all would like to think. Um, if we're making business and that business is growing and doing well, we're impacting the economy. You're impacting the economy because you're providing a service that's needed, and that service that's needed is provided money flow into the economy, which is always needed for our economy to maintain, to sustain and be robust. And
You were just connecting all the dots. And like what came to me was relativity, like how relative and inclusive everything is. So the law of relativity is, you know, how does A and C have a relationship if C has a relationship with B and A has a relationship with B? Well, consequently, A and C now has a relationship, even if they don't do business with each other. But the
mm,
fact that they both do business with B
B,
makes them, in some shape, form, or fashion, a part of the law of relativity.
that's
So
a
if
great
you
point.
are in doing business, you're affecting the community. You're affecting, the economy as a whole because the community affects the economy, and then now, like you're saying, just from open up the business and being productive, you are a part of the bigger picture, building partnerships
Yeah,
and collaborations with other businesses.
yeah,
So if you don't have what we call keep your ears to the street, and that business that you have collaborated with, they have their ear to the street, then you can get new information, meaning like
yeah.
trends and changes that are happening within the industry you're currently in. So I think building partnerships and collaborations with other businesses to tap into new markets and have other opportunities or ways that can help you become a sustainable business as well.
Yeah, when you were talking, I immediately was going back to, there was one business mentor, and I remember when I was first going into business, he told me something. He said, when you're in business, man, don't ever get fat. I was like, what do you mean? He said, man,
Right.
he said, when you start eating, don't ever get fat. He said, in business, it's always good to be lean and agile. And
Mhm.
I said, lean and agile. What you mean by that? He said, man, because business is always ever changing, and the leaner and more agile you are, the quicker you're gonna be to get in and out of those problems. He said, if you
Mhm.
get fat and lazy, when those problems come, you just gonna be sitting on your morals, and you're not gonna be able to adapt to change because you're not gonna be able to move fast enough to keep up with the change. So when you were saying that, it kind of brought me, to that. It kind of brought me, kind of here, his words kind of came back in my mind, because
Right.
I think that is so true. I think, if you're trying to create a business that's going to be around, you know what? You got to be lean. You got to be able to be flexible. You got to be able um to be lean enough and fast and quick enough to be able to change and adapt to those changes as they come in real time. Because
Real
one
time.
thing, with whether you're in life or you're in business, the one thing that you don't want to be is, you don't want to be reactive. You want to always be proactive. You want to always be ahead of the curve. That's
Listen,
right.
man. First and foremost, profitability. Because
That's
I mean,
100.
at the end of the day, that's what we're doing it for, and to bring it all full circle to provide for our families. That's not the end all be all, but you're looking to be profitable so you can provide and do things for yourself and your family. And
Profitability,
yeah.
adaptability equals sustainability.
You know what? Listen, man, you need to coin that one. That goes like Shaq say, underdog, put that on a t-shirt. That belongs on a t-shirt. So like
Well,
Shaq say, underdog, put that on a t-shirt.
put it
Yes,
on
yes,
t-shirt.
yes. So listen, all the viewers, man, I think that's the perfect segue when my brother so put it like that. So
Yeah,
we've been talking about and this is so side not off air, as being a business owner, you have real life, and there's like in business ups and downs in life, excuse me, in business, and the same thing as you, and I'm preaching to the choir, but as our viewers know and listeners know, there's ups and downs in life. And
yeah,
one thing that we want to highlight is the ups in the up in life, and the up in life is, when you have your loved ones, your wife, your spouse, your significant other, your children, friends, family, relatives, the whole 9 yards. You want to have that ability to let them know that you love them,
yeah,
because, none of us are promised tomorrow. You know what I
yeah,
mean? So, like Sos was saying about profitability and sustainability, well, you ain't sustaining nothing if you're not even here to sustain it,
that's right.
and that's real talk as well. So,
Yeah,
or even what is sustainability in business if you don't have your inner circle who you
yeah,
love dearly to
yeah,
share that with the
yeah,
ups and downs in business, that
yeah,
inner circle, you know what I'm
yeah,
saying? And, being able to go through the ups and downs with your inner circle,
yeah,
for me, my spouse, my family, they
yeah,
see my struggles, they see the times when we're doing good.
yeah,
I share in the abundance when the company is doing well and profit is higher.
yeah,
You know what I'm saying? And when we got to tighten up the screws, guess what? They feel that part of it as well.
yeah,
So I think being able to tell our loved ones, our inner circle, our family, our friends, that we appreciate them. Thanks for being on this journey as we go through entrepreneurship. And I'm just
definitely,
speaking for myself to
definitely.
those that are listening and watching us now on YouTube. You got to take the time out as we grind every day as an entrepreneur, as a business owner. Sometimes I have my horse blinders on,
That's
my
right.
head is down,
No
and
doubt.
I got to get a call from my big bro Sosa. He got to just say, how you doing today? You know what I'm saying? And man, I just take the horse blinders off. You know what
Yeah,
I'm saying? And help me lift my head up and say, man, you know what? Let's put things in perspective, even when it comes to business, in general. So
yeah,
without being long-winded, I'm gonna pass it off to my brother Sos,
yeah.
and I'm gonna kind of use that even as my closing statement. So as an entrepreneur, as
That's
someone
real.
who's self-employed, someone who's an investor, a small business owner, take the time out. When you are doing well, enjoy the moment. Use some of that profit and share with your family, man. Go on vacation, enjoy the fruits of your labor. Don't get so caught up in, always thinking 30 years ahead or always thinking 30 years in the past.